It's time to stop dwelling on the past and move forward into the future. Yeah. Oh, a booklet would be helpful for that. Where the hell did I throw that thing? They say what you need to learn to do is to be able to play up here. Here's the problem. My thick-ass fingers hit the keys next to it. I can either learn to play it like this, or I can learn to play it like this. This really doesn't seem very viable.
Let me play the D7 chord.
Funny enough, it's actually the right kind of chord for this. Hi there, SixofQueens here. And learning still sucks. This week, after about 4 months, I'll finally get back to progressing through Chapter 5 of Bastian Piano for Adults, reading in G. Most of the last 4 weeks was spent getting caught back up to where I was 4 months ago before I, fucked off for most of it. It's not consequence-free, much as I hoped that it was at the outset, a little prematurely. So while it's been good getting back into things, and it has been rewarding in its own sense, there hasn't really been that much progression. I mean, sure, I progressed further with Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and I'm going to check back in on that towards the beginning of this session to make sure that I actually have it down, and hell, for all I know, I might be working on it for the rest of the goddamn week. But assuming that everything works out all right, then I should finally be able to start moving forward and learning new things, starting with a D7 chord. Though, as is always the case with this book, it's not the actual D7 chord. It is a modified, easier to play, 3-note version of the D7 chord. But before moving ahead, there is one last little bit of business that I gotta make sure that I'm satisfied with my progress with before plunging once again headlong into the ice bath of learning. But before that, let's start things off with a little bit of nice warm-up. wouldn't call it recital ready, but overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Honestly, I kept most of it, and considering that it's been since last Thursday, since last time I played it. Well, okay, I played it a few times before this to help get it back, but I think if I roll this into daily warm-up, then I'm going to get that repetition in and just get it down, because there's still a few places where I felt it was just my luck that I hit the right key, and it would take doing a lot more times to get it down. Plus, like, the proper version has some left-handed chord work going on. This version does not have that. It might be chords that I don't know. It might be in a key that I don't know, that you can play it in this, although this isn't being played largely in G, it's being played in middle C. I guess it combines staccato and legato playing, so that's probably the justification. Whatever footage and talking points I ended up cutting out aside, it's time to stop dwelling on the past and move forward into the future. Yeah. Oh, a booklet would be helpful for that. Where the hell did I throw that thing? Luckily, it's a small room. Good, important key. Okay, so I can already tell this is going to be a special kind of issue for me because I have thick fingers. I don't have really good piano fingers, and in my research outside of here, I do a little bit of research outside of here, believe it or not. One of the big things that they point out that I actually have done up to this point is I keep my fingers way down here on the keys, right? And it can make playing certain things very difficult. They say what you need to learn to do is to be able to play up here, where I'm actually pressing the white part in between the black keys. Here's the problem. My thick ass fingers, when I do that, it's really difficult for me to not hit the keys next to it. Like, if I'm really sitting here concentrating, I can keep myself from doing it. But like this D7 chord on my right hand, I need to have my thumb, R1, up on F sharp. But 4 and 5 are on C and D. But the only way for me to get my hand to do that is to come up really high. But then I have very thin portions of those keys to work with. I'm sure it's just a skill issue. This isn't the first time that I've come across something like this where it seemed really baffling at first, and I couldn't conceive that I'd ever be able to get it. And lo and behold, enough practice, you eventually do. It's like that's what it's for. I'm sure that this will be no different. I can either learn to play it like this, or I can learn to play it like this. This really doesn't seem very viable. I think I'm going to have problems up in my shoulder if I do this.
Let me play the D7 chord.
Funny enough, it's actually the right kind of chord for this. Right. What the hell exercise do they have for this? Let's see what the next song is. Interesting. Bum, 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 bum. 3. I never knew that song had that second ending to it. And maybe it normally doesn't. But there's probably another one that it would be best for me to actually go online, see someone else play it, this version from this book, and make sure I'm playing that end part correctly. Also, that I'm doing the first and second ending correctly and cutting it in at the right point. I checked back on the section where that idea is introduced in here, so I think that I got it. But this doesn't have as clearly demarcated where ending 1 and ending 2 starts and stops. I think it's just that whole measure prior to that mark, but not 100% sure. So have to go back and try that. So that might be it for today, and that might be a short practice session. Yeah, it's a lot of pages, so I'm still going to be on chapter 5 for a while, but that's okay. If you'd like to see what it took for me to get this far, then you can either click up here or the link in the description below to catch the entire series from the very beginning. And if you'd like to find out where I go from here, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you know when I upload next. So far I've practiced hours over weeks. Let's see what, if anything, I learn next time.